Hey, 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 Pajama Gramma, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with Pajama Gramma's Chronic Painkillers Prescription. Today's tip, trick, strategy, technique, whatever you want to call it, that can help you kill your chronic pain and take back your life. These are just things that I've learned over the last 37 years by using myself as my own greatest science experiment that have helped me to shrink down my chronic pain and chronic illness and make it just a small part of my life instead of it being my whole life. Because for a lot of years, it was my whole life. Dealing with my chronic pain and living my chronic pain was all I was doing. I was just surviving and barely getting by from day to day to day. And that's no way to live. It's just not much of an existence. But I learned that that was my choice and that I could choose something else. And when I began choosing something else, everything started to fall into place and click and work out better for me. Now, I'm not going to say that I don't have chronic pain or I don't have illness. I got a migraine today, but I am still out living my life, doing what I can do to make my life work. So today's prescription is all about fuel. Well, what do you mean by fuel, Pajama Gramma? How on earth, what is fuel and what does that have to do with my chronic pain and alleviating or mitigating or stopping or killing my chronic pain? Well, it has a lot to do with your chronic pain. Have you ever noticed that certain foods you eat make you hurt more or less? I will give a very recent example from my own life. Last night, I had a rather large piece of yummy, delicious, caramely scrumptiousness apple pie. Now, it was wonderful. It tasted delicious. But I know from using myself as my own science experiment that eating apple pie is going to cause me problems because of all the sugar and sweetness and processed foodness in it. All this stuff in it. There's a bunch of stuff in yummy, delicious German apple pie that doesn't actually interact and work that well with my body. So when I tried to use apple pie as fuel, although it short-term gave me some dopamine or whatever it is that makes you feel good from eating something yummy, and I got that quick short-term positive response, long-term, it's not working out so well because today I woke up with a massive migraine. Now, normally, sugar and sweets settles in my hips, but today I obviously consumed way too much of it because it decided it would settle in my whole head. But that's an example of fuel making me feel worse. Short-term makes me feel good because it makes my brain think that I'm happy about eating something sweet and yummy, but long-term, it shows up as a physical symptom and a more pain in my body. Now, fuel is more than just food, although food is our biggest source of fuel. And all food is really for is energy. We eat food to create energy. So fuel is energy. It's like, what kind of fuel do you put in your car? If you've got a fancy, higher-end luxury car, you need premium fuel to be put in your car. I only know this because of my kids, not because of my car. I'm a plain Jane car gal. But if you put the wrong fuel in that car will not function. That car might actually stop before you get it out of the gas station. That happened to my sister once. She accidentally put the wrong fuel in and her car wouldn't run at all. So, because she was beyond empty, which is another thing. We can't let ourselves run out of fuel. We have to never be empty. But the type fuel definitely affects how the car runs. The type fuel that you consume definitely affects how your body runs and how you experience chronic pain. And I wish I had a cut and dried answer that I could give everybody that has chronic pain and say, if you do this and eat this, you will reduce your pain. If you take this supplement, it will reduce your chronic pain. If you take this medication, it will reduce your chronic pain. But it won't. I can't. There's no such thing because we're all unique and different entities and beings. We have to actually figure out what works for us because what works for me won't work for you. What works for my kids won't work for me. We have to each determine by experimenting a little bit on ourselves what reduces our chronic pain in terms of what we eat and drink and consume and what decreases our chronic pain. That is your prescription for today. Start. Do it. You got to do it. You can't just try. You have to do these things if you want to change your life. Begin today, if you haven't been doing it already, paying attention to and figuring out what kind of fuels make you feel awesome, what energizes you, what makes your pain feel like it's not a big deal, what gives you more energy and vibrancy and makes you want to go out and tackle your day and deal with your chronic pain and not have that be a big portion of your life, what makes you excited about moving forward toward whatever it is that you want. That's today's prescription. Pay attention to your fuel and start noticing what makes you feel better, what makes you feel worse. And then add more of what makes you feel better in your life and take out more of what makes you feel worse. Pretty simple, right? So do today's prescription, and I will see you again soon with another Painkillers prescription. Have an awesome day. Bye.